Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. We are so glad that you're here joining us as we are live in ESMOD Paris. As you all are starting to join, coming in from all around the world, we'll let you guys to get settled in, connect, and land slowly but surely. Thank you so much again for joining us at ESMOD Paris for this digital open campus. Today we'll be talking about fashion design and fashion business programs, about all the different facets of ESMOD, and we will dive in just a second. So again, thank you so much for joining us. I know we have people joining us from all around the world, so we're very fortunate to have people coming from Mumbai, we have people coming from London, we have people coming from the United States, California, New York. Thank you so much for joining us from all these time zones. We are very excited to be telling you all about all of the various things that life at ESMOD has to offer. Thank you again. Hello, Sophia. We will get started in just a second. I think we're waiting for a few more people, but as we are waiting, I just wanted to, again, welcome everyone and introduce the team that we have here today that will be speaking to you throughout this digital open campus. My name is Jan Fugel. I'm the social media coordinator for ESMOD. I myself am an American living in Paris for the last 6 years. As well, joining us today, we have Nelly from our Office of Admissions. We have Valentin from our ESMOD Career Department, and we have as well Elena from the Academic Department of Fashion Design. Online, we have my colleagues Anneli and Jessica that are from the Fashion Business academic program that will be speaking a little bit later. And so you'll hear from each of them, as well as two students that will be joining us a little bit later. So you'll all get to ask your questions, talk about life in Paris, talk about the ESMOD experience at the end. So feel free to ask any questions in the chat if you would like, and we will be asking the questions for the question and answer session at the very end. Feel free to ask any questions, whether it be about the fashion design program, fashion business program, admissions, internships, living in Paris for students or for the teams that are here today. So as I mentioned, I myself am an American living in Paris. Before Emily, there was me. I decided to move to Paris after studying abroad. I did my education in the States, but fell in love with Paris. There's so much that the city has to offer, and so we will jump right in to tell you all about that. Obviously, ESMOD has multiple campuses around the world and in France, but particularly today, we will be focusing on my two favorite campuses, Paris and Pantin. So I'm sure that most of you know that Paris is, of course, our campus is located in the 9th arrondissement, right around the corner from the main department stores, Galeries Lafayette, Printemps. We're in the heart of the cultural sector of the city. We also have a campus that is in what is known as the New Brooklyn, Pantin. We are neighbors with the Hermès ateliers, as well as BETC, one of the main communications agencies for fashion and luxury, as well as the 19M, which is Chanel's Métiers d'Art gallery. So we're in great company with some other fashion giants in the New Brooklyn of the greater Paris area in Pantin. And we have two historical buildings that we are very proud to have and to keep the history and heritage of ESMOD alive. So the first question, of course, for international students that you may ask yourself is, why would I study fashion in France? That question, to be honest, is pretty easy to answer. Of course, there's Paris Fashion Week, which remains the main fashion week in terms of media impact value, but not only. And there's also, of course, an incredibly rich and historic ecosystem of fashion and luxury houses that remains, once again, incredibly influential and important, not only in France, but globally. France, let's not forget, has, of course, the birthplace of haute couture and remains the fashion capital to this day. And so it is one of the most important and most easy places to study fashion, as it is literally all around. Now, the thing that is particular, of course, about ESMOD is that we are where creativity meets the industry. As much as our students spend time in classes and learning technical skills, learning business plans and things like that, we, of course, have a very deep connection with the industry. And our main goal is to always be completely in phase with the industry, the ESMOD career team, professors, and through collaborations, allow us and our students to stay on as close to the realities of the industry as possible. During fashion weeks, of course, but not only. And we have many different collaborations with brands as well that our students get to partake in. So a little bit about the ESMOD network. ESMOD is, of course, the first fashion school founded in 1841 by a man named Alexis Levine. And back in 1841, he was the inventor of the mannequin bust and the tape measure, which are two tools that are still used today in the fashion industry by literally everyone. So you can say that we did indeed invent the wheel. Those methods that our founder wrote is a part of our publishing house. That's another branch of ESMOD. Our students today get to use these historical methods in their textbooks and ebooks that the ESMOD Editions publishes. We, of course, also have an international network of campuses around the world, 18 different campuses in 12 different countries, including Paris-Pantin. And although we have a very rich history and rich heritage, including our historical fashion, the costumes and documents archives, we are we have a very deep connection as well to the technology of the industry and the innovations in line with our founder. And so students beginning in the first year get to learn software such as Clo3D, and we have the digital designer specialization. And so along with the heritage and the history, our students are also getting to learn the new innovations. One of the main cornerstones of the ESMOD teaching philosophy is, of course, learning by doing. Like I said, we are in phase with the industry. We want to make sure that our students are getting hands-on experience, whether it be via internships and collaborations, working one-on-one with brands as well. We have lots of case studies. We have brands that come in and pitch problematics for our students. And so we have a lot of interactions that make sure that our students are getting hands-on training. And as I mentioned, we have many brands that work with us and that we love to work with, notably Stéphane Roland, a French haute couture brand. A few years back, we had our design students that got to do the opening of his haute couture fashion week show. We've worked with Maison Kitsune. We've had students that get incredible visibility via the Printemps department store, where they have a 2-month window display for dedicated to them, incredible visibility. Of course, this is a very non-exhaustive list, and we will get into some other projects, notably with the students, as they chat later. So we will, of course, today be presenting the different panels of programs that we have to offer. We have fashion design and fashion business, as I mentioned, on both the undergraduate and postgraduate level. We have an intensive program that is specifically tailored to a different kind of profile, which Elena will get into in a bit. And we, of course, also have summer programs that we will be happy to chat with if anyone has any questions about that. So I would now like to invite Elena, our curriculum coordinator and dean of the second year, to come up and chat with us about the Bachelor in Fashion Design.
Hello, nice to see you all tonight. So I'm going to present to you the Bachelor in Fashion Design program, just so you have a little bit of an overview. This program, the main subjects of this program, the subjects that you're going to see through the 3-year program are pattern making and design, so creative and technical design, as we call it. Complementary to these main classes that you're going to have, you have French, art, history, marketing, design, pattern making, fashion culture, trends, Adobe. So all these skills you're going to learn to complement creative and technical design main classes that you're going to have through first, second, and third year. First year, you're going to learn the foundations through the key garments like skirts, shirts, and you're going to finish the year by a personal dress that you're going to present to the jury. Second year, we're going to go to more complicated garments, so outerwear pieces, so casual wear pieces, pants, and you're going to finish the year by a tailor suit, so a jury around a tailor suit that you're going to make. And this tailor suit will enable you to enroll into the 3rd year specialization of your choice. You saw that we have like around 9 specializations. So it's up to you which one you decide to make a whole collection around. You also have 2 mandatory internships, one in 3rd year to finish up your process of 3 years, and one in 2nd year. I'm going to talk to you about the intensive fashion design program too. So this program is dedicated to those students who are a little bit more mature, who have a little bit more experience into the fashion field or not, but they have the capacity to go quicker through the program. It means that you're going to have 2 years in one. It's a program that goes a bit faster, yeah, for those who understand time management maybe a little bit better. But the classes are the same. So you're going to have 2 years in one, and then you're ready to enroll, if you wish, to the third year, as if you would have had first, second year in a classical way.
Thank you so much, Elena. We are now going to go to our friends online as we will switch over to talk about the fashion business programs. So we will start with the Bachelor in Fashion Business, of course, with Jessica.
Hello everyone, delighted to be here to present to you our program in fashion business. This is a Bachelor in Fashion Marketing and Communications. The requirements are basically a high school diploma, of course, and a genuine passion for fashion, of course. That's very important for us. A strong desire to learn, very important. Okay, so the classes are mainly on fashion history, fundamentals of marketing, and fashion media. The first year is centered on the fundamentals in fashion marketing and communication. So you have introductory courses on fashion marketing and communication, and you have management basics. Second year is centered on branding and digital marketing skills, with an emphasis on AI and e-commerce. The third year is centered on advanced brand strategy. So we are building on what you've learned in the second and the first year, and sustainability and entrepreneurship. The internships are at the end of each year. So the first year you do an internship on sales, which is a very formative and very important experience. Second and third year, you can do your internship in either marketing or communications. They progress both in time and in responsibilities. So that's the idea. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jessica. We will now be going over to Annalie as we will discuss the Postgraduate Fashion Design program.
Hi, everyone. Very happy to be here to explain the fashion design postgraduate. So the program is taught in English. The main difference between the bachelor and the postgraduate is in bachelor, you learn to do, and postgraduate, you learn to lead. As for the requirements, so cultural, theoretical, and technical knowledge are required. We are welcoming many different profiles, not necessarily with a background in design, depending on your project. Collection-focused designers need solid design and technical skills, and editorial or research-driven projects may require different creative strengths. So first year, it's about rethinking garment and fashion research for final project and thesis. And in the second year, finalization of the creative project and thesis internship. Now let's move on to the fashion business. So postgraduate in fashion business. We are welcoming all bachelor's background with a strong interest in fashion and a desire to specialize in fashion and luxury. So the program develops strong strategic, creative, and leadership skills in fashion and luxury, combining marketing, branding, innovation, sustainability, and digital expertise to prepare students for complex global environments. So the first year is focused on foundations in fashion marketing and branding with a strategic responsible focus. And the fifth year develops strategic leadership in digital luxury, innovation, and global management. Year one, you have a 2-month internship, and year two, you have a 6-month internship in whatever field you want. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Annalie, for all that information on our postgraduate programs, Elena and Jessica for our bachelor programs. If you have any questions again throughout this digital open campus, please feel free to ask your questions in the chat, and we will, of course, get to answer some questions with our students in a bit. But before we do so, I'm going to throw it to Valentin from ESMOD Career, who will talk to you a little bit more about your future in fashion and luxury.
Thank you, Jaden, for this amazing introduction, and hello to all and welcome to this open day. So I would like to start this presentation about ESMOD Career with a quote. Choosing a fashion school today is not only about creativity, it's about career development, international exposure, and real career outcome. So it is very important for us at ESMOD Career to have a personalized, human-centered approach and really to help our students and then afterwards our alumni on a fashion support, especially with a dedicated bilingual team, and really an individual guidance for internships, for jobs. And we have at an international level 900 international brands with whom we are working every day and approaching our students. So talking about numbers, we in terms of internship placement, we are almost at 100% for the validation of our students. And 6 months after their studies, we are between 80 and 86 for 80 for the fashion design and 86 for the fashion business that they found a job 6 months after. We have a platform for our alumni and students that is very important to us, and we have on it 10,000 active members and 1,800 career opportunities for our students to be able to advance in their professional journey. So this was just what I explained about the internship placement and then afterwards the employment placement that we had on the 6 months after. And this, like I told you just before, our alumni is really our heart and is very important to us. So here is an example of a list of alumni who work, international alumni who work in different brands like DJ Kayak, Maison Habi Kérouz. It is very diverse in terms of brands, but it is really one of our strengths. Also, regarding our alumni, so it is very important for us that they have a development in fashion business and in fashion design. So this is why the list is pretty diverse. And regarding our program, so it is very important for us to follow everything related to the future of fashion under 3 parts, which are first sustainability, with new jobs such as circular fashion specialist, eco-design expert, green manufacturing manager, and the list continues on the slides. And technology with, for example, AI fashion designer and fashion data analyst, digital artisan, and pattern makers 4.0. And obviously digital fashion with jobs such as virtual garment designer, AR, VR fashion creator, metaverse specialist, and the list goes on, obviously, and is going to evolve in the following years. So it is for sure one of our strengths, our alumni, and the development of, and the evolution, of the jobs in the fashion industry.
Thank you so much, Valentin. It is true, we do heart our alumni. They are everywhere. As you saw that beautiful list of Maison, and it is non-exhaustive. We like to brag a little bit. I will now ask my colleague Nelly to come and talk to you a little bit about how to apply in our admissions process, as we do have a rolling admissions-based system. Nelly?
Hello, on m'entend? Ah, okay. I'm Nelly, and I work in the admission department. So first of all, I wanted to say that I'm really delighted to have you with us tonight online. So I'm going to explain how you can apply online. So first, you have to go in our website, ESMOD, and you have to complete the application form and pay the application fee. After that, you will receive a confirmation email, including all the documents you have to send it back within 15 days. So you have the ESMOD assessment task, with the mood board, portfolio, and the administrative documents like your resume, your cover letter, your last grade reports, and your identity card. The admission teams, we will review your application, and if your application is eligible, you will have an interview online via Teams. Okay, so concerning the visa procedure, once you're admitted to ESMOD, you should start your application for the visa. And we work with an organism called Live France, and this organism helps you throughout all the process to obtain your visa. Concerning the scholarship, as we are private school, we do not offer a scholarship. But students who already have grants can have scholarships. And you can check your eligibility on Campus France. You have the link, the address link, and you can just check your eligibility for the scholarship. Do not hesitate to contact us on WhatsApp. Me and my teams in the admission are available at any time if you need more details or questions about the admission or the process. Thank you for listening.
So for someone who is looking to apply, Nidhi, do you have maybe any tips as to what they should include on their creative dossier assignment, the mood board that we asked them to do?
Yeah, sure.
Do you have any tips on how to succeed as best as possible on that exercise?
Yes, for the mood board, first of all, the portfolio is optional, but recommended for your application. And the mood board should reflect your personality, your creativity, and reference from fashion, art, music, photography, etc. Is really, you can just add this on your application.
The portfolio itself is not required for bachelor's students, but it is required for the postgraduate application, I believe.
Application, sure.
As obviously our bar is a little bit higher for the master's program. Perfect. Thank you so much
for listening.
So now that you've gotten some tips and tricks for your application process, you can now also get some from the students that have gone through the process and done it. I will now happy to invite two students from our fashion design program. One is in third year and one is in first year. And so they will be talking to you a little bit about their ESMOD experience, their collection, their life in Paris, and how they've gotten to acclimate here as an international student.
Hello.
Hi.
I guess I'll go first. My name is Tate. I am a first-year student in fashion design, and I'm from the United States. Oh, where? And I'm from the United States, so shout out to New York. Yes, I moved here in July, and I've been speaking French since I was 6, so that is helpful with the Parisian integration. But there are plenty of students who are in my class who do not speak very much French. And I actually met this lovely one exactly a year ago at ESMOD Student Days.
Yeah, so hi, my name is Meta. I'm from Germany and I'm in the third year and I'm working on my collection. I'm doing the specialization haute couture. And yeah, I met Tate at the open day, convinced him to go here. How we're probably convincing you guys to go here because it's amazing. And yeah, for me, living in Paris was really an entirely different world. I come from a small city back home, so having all of this richness and culture and events, things to do, all of these international people was really, really amazing and a huge change, but in a very positive way.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for these beautiful intros. And it's so funny that you guys met via ESMOD in such a way. So first things first, we would love to know how you found out first and foremost about ESMOD and what made you decide that this was a place for you.
Sure. So obviously in New York, we have Parsons and FIT. So I applied to Parsons as well. But I was really interested in coming to France because I was interested in studying in the home of fashion and couture in my eyes. So I had a friend who had attended ESMOD in the international program as well, and he did the intensive. So that's the 2-year option. And he highly recommended it. So I came last year for the student days, and I was a little bit unsure because I had actually just been admitted to Parsons. So I was studying between the two of them. And speaking to Meta and a few of the other students, learning about some of the programs. And actually speaking with Nelly gave me 2 tours. I was very privileged. It very much convinced me. And again, why not study in one of the most beautiful cities on earth and where couture was born?
Yeah, for me, it was quite clear that I wanted to go to Paris. So I was just searching up sort of the possibilities and which schools there were. And I just kind of fell in love with the building, with the presentation that I saw online, and I decided to apply. It was the first school I applied to, and I got my acceptance very quickly. So because I already liked it, I just decided to go with it.
Let's call it fate. So since you now are both experts at living in Paris, tell us a little bit about what it's like living in Paris, in this beautiful city that we love. And tell us about how, as fashion students, you can draw inspiration from such a city.
Well, I knew that I wanted to live in the Marais or near school, so that choice was very easy. When I was looking at apartments over the summer, I found a very beautiful apartment that for an American was a steal. Um, the building definitely has had its fair share of issues since, but we live in an old city, so that's a given. I was just actually saying to Meta that I look around every single day. If I'm ever in a bad mood or if I'm ever stressed, I just look up and I remember that I'm in Paris and I look at the architecture and think, wow, I'm never going to live somewhere so beautiful again. But the city has a very nice pace of being slow when you need it to be. You can go sit in a cafe. I love doing work in cafes if it's sketching, reading, or just like chilling with a friend or having brunch or coffee. Or if you need it to be really fast, you can go on the right streets, you can make it Times Square. And of course, we have Paris Fashion Week, which is the biggest fashion week in the world. And it rivals New York as well. So there is so much energy. There's watch parties. There are opportunities for us to participate, which are quite easy to get as ESMOD students because there are so many connections. So, for example, last week I worked at the La Mer show as a stand-in model, and then I was supposed to be for Issey Miyake, but then I had a deadline. So, it's been really amazing. So.
Yeah, for me, it's similar. I don't actually live directly in Paris. I live in what we call the banlieue. But we have an amazing metro system here. So I just take the line 13 and I'm at school in a matter of like 25 minutes. So I really can't complain. And like this, because in Paris, we do have quite like small apartments. Again, it's sort of this old city. So student apartments usually are not as big. So I chose to go a little bit outside to have a little bit more space. And yeah, it's just amazing. I mean, there's like always new things to do. We have amazing fashion museums, but just museums in general. Every fashion museum is free for us as students, and a lot of the museums as well, if you are under 26 and you're a student. So there's so much inspiration that you can take from that, and as well, yeah, like Tate said, the energy in Fashion Week is just crazy. I mean, you have events all around the city. You have pop-ups. You have, yeah, like streaming at this point, like the La Watch Party, if you know.
As we did our own watch.
Yeah, we did our own as well. And yeah, like working backstage, that's super interesting as well. I did it for Vivienne Westwood in the first year, I believe. And then a few other brands, Ellen Paul and Egon Lab as an example. So there's so much inspiration also from the people that are here. This is such an international city. You will meet people from around the globe. And it's just, yeah, so many sort of things that you can take from.
Thank you so much. And I would love to hear a little bit about from each of you, maybe could you describe a typical ESMOD day? Could you describe your typical day? Your typical day at ESMOD?
Yes. The typical day at ESMOD, for first year at least, I'm not sure what it was like for Meta, but my normal day starts at 8 a.m. I have my either stylisme or modélisme, which is either technical design or creative design. It's a workshop class that we have studio from 8 until 1, and we have a break around 10:30. Usually we have projects that we're working on. So right now we're actually at the final for our semester. So we're working on our personal skirt project. So the creative design class and the technical design class go hand in hand. For example, we're working on a pattern in one class, and then in our creative class, we'll be learning about how to style, how to define, how to create graphics, use AI, use different like random creative tools to basically like present these things. So, and then in addition to that, we'll be supplemented. So after 1 p.m., we'll have usually an hour break or a 3-hour break, and then we'll get to go to our other classes. Some days we have the afternoons off, but usually we'll have Adobe Illustrator. We'll switch over to Photoshop next semester. We have a class in French, which is on fashion vocabulary and fashion culture, fashion history, and there's a few others, but yeah, then usually you go home, you eat, you do a little bit of homework, go to bed, and redo.
So for me in the third year, I still have the same structure of the main classes. So I have 5 hours of style class and 5 hours of technical class, which is mainly focused right now on creating the collection. So usually there's more of a focus in the beginning of the year on the style, and then later in the year more on the technical when it comes to the realization, obviously. And then you can also choose an option in the third year. So that's like another thing that you can add to your resume, another technique that you are able to learn. As an example, we have a 3D print, we have a knitwear by hand, knitwear by machine, which I'm doing. There's also some digital options like Claude 3D. So all of these tools that are really used in the business. And yeah, so I have a few classes of that every week. And I usually, most of the time, I do end at 1 though, so that I have enough time at home to work a little bit more. Yeah, have some food, maybe, you know, go out. Yeah, and that's how my day looks.
Well, thank you. One last question before we will bring everyone back out and we'll have everyone have to answer questions. But can you tell us a little bit about, you're in your first year, so you have yet to do any, but I would love to hear from you about the internship so far that you've done. And then also, what is it that you're dreaming about? What's your goal post ESMOD? And so the same question would be for you. What are we aiming for? What's our goal? What's our dream post ESMOD?
So I actually had the chance to do this internship last year in the summer, which was a collaboration with the National Archaeology Museum. So this was a sort of research and creation-based workshop for a month where we learned a lot about the Bronze Age. And so we had a little bit of creative liberty to create sort of the clothes that would have been worn at that time, by using the old sort of ways of creating garments, which was really nice because you kind of had to detach yourself from everything that you learned, because you couldn't use a sewing machine. There was in general just minimal amount of sewing, and you kind of had to create something out of things that you would normally not think to use. So that was super interesting and very enriching. And yeah, for the future, I mean, I'm personally somebody that is in between style and technical. I enjoy the both, so I will be applying to both. and I will be seeing what I get in the end. But we have an amazing platform, like we already talked about, ESMOD alumni. So there is a high chance of hopefully me finding an internship.
There will be. I've seen your work. I think I came into ESMOD as a unique role because I'm actually 25 and I graduated in the United States from a 4-year university. I worked at Microsoft doing marketing and now I'm back in fashion. So I would say what my goal is I want to work more on the product and creative side, which ESMOD teaches technique to perfection. The ESMOD way is the way of couture. So I think that background is going to be really well suited for doing something with product. What that looks like, I don't know. That's what I'm here to find out. But my dream would be to work for Balenciaga or Maison Margiela, and then ideally like launch my own brand at some point. I'm working on a brand launch now, but it's an infant, so something, down the line.
We'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. Trash.
Throw us your at.
Trash.
Thank you so much for answering these questions. You will be staying with us, don't worry. We have other questions coming from the audience as well. But I'm going to bring up everyone else to come back as we have questions for all of the above. Once again, thank you so much, all of you, for joining us this evening for this digital open campus. Thank you especially to our 2 students that, out of the goodness of their heart, decided to stay late with us and chat with you, which really shows just how much they love ESMOD. So thank you so much. And we did not slip them, a $5 for the compliments, we promise. So we will be answering some questions on live. Again, if you have any questions about our admissions process, about life in Paris, about what it's like to be an ESMOD student, fashion design or fashion business, how do I choose, anything like that, you can feel free to drop it now if you have not already. And sinon,
So we have a question from Daria. Is it necessary to know French if you want to enroll at fashion design program?
Is it necessary to know French in order to enroll in the fashion design program?
No, you don't have to know French to enroll because we have several English-speaking classes, in first and second year. By third year, normally you'll be, well, maybe not fluent, depends on you, but you'll be understanding and communicating pretty well. So our teachers encourage you to try to present your pre-juries in French to get more contact with the language.
Thank you so much, Elena. We have another question from Radhika online. Can you please tell us a little bit about internships from students in the postgraduate program? Valentin, do you have any examples for us of postgraduate students and the internships that they would have gotten?
Perfect. It's going to be much better. Thank you. So yes, indeed, we have a variety of examples of internships that our students have made in the postgraduate program, like designer footwear for men at Christian Dior. Cannot say the names of the students, but here are the internships. Development assistance in leather for Louis Vuitton, and visual merchandising intern for Balenciaga. And every year we give our students who have mandatory internships to participate in our talent days, which are basically a concept where we send the CVs of our students to companies and they select the students that they want to meet and they are able to meet them in our school or directly. So it's a very easy way to find an internship and to meet the companies of your dream, like our student just talked about before, and an easy way to get an internship.
Thank you so much, Valentin. Our next question is going to be for Annelie, who is online, and it is a question asking if we can study both fashion design and fashion business. Annelie, you want to talk about how you can study both?
Wait, I don't understand the question. How we can...
So we have the possibility of doing the fashion design bachelor, then going on to the fashion business postgraduate, for example?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, of course. Actually, it's a very good idea because if you study the design in bachelor, you will have all the technical skills. And if you want to come to the postgraduate in fashion business, You will have all the strategic, managerial skills, and this, we call it hybrid kind of profile, is very important. And nowadays, companies really look for that. It's really good employment profile.
Thank you, Nelly. Our next question is going to be for Nelly. Nelly, can you please tell us, we have a question from Sophia online. What is the best time to apply for the Bachelor in Fashion Design?
So thank you for your question. I recommend you to apply as soon as possible because right now we have a lot of applicants. So we don't have a deadline date, but it really important if you can apply as soon as possible because we have a lot of applicants right now. So yeah.
Thank you, Nelly. And we have another question that I'm going to try to answer as well. A lot of questions about our admit rate. Because our admissions are done on a rolling basis, we don't have an admit rate percentage. So you got to apply, as Nelly said, as soon as you feel ready, and hopefully the fates will be on your side. The next question is going to be for our students. We have people that are asking, how did you come about finding your apartments? Can you give some advice on finding residency in in Paris or in the suburbs?
Well, I personally used a website called Logis. I have moved every year so far, but I'm finally very happy with my apartment. So I used, for my last 2 moves, I used Logis, and I was very happy with that. Because sometimes it can be quite difficult as an international if you don't have a garant. Like in France, they usually work with this garant system. So it is nice to have an agency to sort of help you figure all of that out.
Yes, I was very lucky to have lots of friends and family who had lived in France to give me recommendations. But I would say do your research, watch YouTube videos. There's a lot of expats who have stories to share. The guarantor is definitely one of the most important things. And France in general has a lot of bureaucratic systems that everything just requires a lot of steps. So keep that in mind. It takes a while to get anything done. I used an apartment website called Sologer, and I worked with an agency. I got really lucky, and finding my apartment was super easy. I actually thought it was going to be a scam because it looked too good to be true. But I had a friend tour it for me over the summer, and then I came and moved in the next week.
The fates were on your side. We love to see it.
And with ESMOD.
Thank you so much. You guys hand the mic off to Valentin. There is also for those of you that are international students, we do have a concierge service that can also help try to find you placement in student housing. There's also some agencies that we've worked with in the past that can help you find host families if you're not wanting to live on your own just the minute that you get here. It's a good option as well. And our next question, Valentin, I will leave to you, is asking about what exactly are the types of jobs that students at ESMOD can get during Paris Fashion Week? And is there any difference between the jobs available to fashion design students and fashion business students?
Okay, then thank you very much for the question. So Fashion Week is indeed a very important time in the year for the fashion industry, but especially for our students. And there is no difference in the missions that our students can do during Fashion Week between design and business. They can work as dressers, showroom assistants, and it's a very amazing opportunity for them to discover the fashion industry, the life in Paris, and how the fashion works here. And even though it can be sometimes a bit stressful, it is very formative for the future of their careers. And at ESMOD Career, it is our responsibility and our duty to make all those missions possible for them to get an amazing employability, to be happy students, and then afterwards, happy alumni.
Thank you, Valentin. We also, of course, love our alumni network that invites us to shows. Next question is going to be for Elena. Could you give any advice, Elena, as someone who is in the academic department and someone that often does admissions interviews in the past? Could you give us some tips as to how to make your creative dossier assignment, or if you're applying to the postgraduate fashion design, your portfolio stand out?
Okay, so for the bachelor, if you're applying for the 3-year program, your mood board. Yeah, Nelly was talking about the mood board. Of course, make it personal. It's around your inspiration. It's around what touches you, what relates you to fashion, art, and inspiration in general. But we also want to hear how you analyze all of that, how this connects to you as a designer. Yeah, so it's not just I like those elements, but how and why those elements inspire you. Also, for everything that you're going to do, as for the collages that you're going to do with this mood board, really try to think your process connecting that to the brands that you like. Yeah, so just for us to have a link on how you think as a designer. Yeah. And you're going to see that there is a practical exercise there to be done too. So the construction of 2 garments. Also, we want to see how you think outside the box. Yeah, so this will help you, help us understand who you are as a designer. Yeah, of course, we don't expect you to be pros and designers at this point, but we want to see how curious you are. Yeah. And for those who are applying for the postgraduate program, you just need to think portfolio. Yeah, so of course we need to see that you are able to think garment, to think a project, and that you have a project in mind that goes beyond making a 3rd-year collection. Yeah, so.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, Elena, correct me if I'm wrong, particularly for the Bachelor Fashion Design Creative Dossier assignment, there really is no wrong answer.
Oh, for sure.
We're really looking to see where your mind goes,
Exactly.
how you express yourself, where you express yourself creatively as well, right? We want to see not just things that you do related to like art. For example, we want to see, do you dance? What
Exactly.
architecture do you like and why?
Thank you.
Things like that.
Thank you for saying this. Don't hesitate to add to this 3 elements that we are asking from you. This, let's say, these 3 parts can be 10 pages if you want. Yeah. So the more you show us who you are, the more interested we're going to be in you and your process. Yeah. But as you were saying, Janan, there's no right or wrong answer there. Yeah. It's just about you.
Thank you so much. Yes, we have another question, and we will pass this over to Nelly. The question is, what would you recommend if you are unsure as to which program to choose?
Okay, so you hesitate between fashion design or fashion business, right? So both of the program are really good. So it depends of what you like most. If you're a creative person, if you want to be a stylish, for example, or if you're more business woman, a man, I don't know which person asked the question, but yeah, it depends of what you like and your inspiration.
And I think, Nelly, there's a surefire way for someone to test out, to figure out which one they sort of gravitate towards, and it's testing and learning, right?
Yes.
We have summer courses.
Yeah, sure.
Every summer where you can test out both fashion design and fashion business at the same time. So you can really get a feel for what exactly we mean when we say fashion design classes, what exactly we mean when we say fashion business classes. It allows you to sort of get a feeling also for the ESMOD method, for the professors, because the professors that teach the summer courses are the professors that teach throughout the year to our undergraduate and our postgraduate professors as well. So it's a great way to sort of get a feel for the campus, get a feel for the methodology, and also really feel out for yourself which one you gravitate towards. Because as Nelly mentioned, fashion business is just as creative as fashion design. It's all a matter of how you see it, what you do with it, the approach, the analysis. And so we have very creative projects on the fashion business side. We have very technical projects on the fashion design side. Both require skills that are hybrid, and then you mentioned earlier, hybrid profiles are more and more important today. And so the summer course is a great option in order to test out which you would gravitate towards.
Exactly.
I believe we have another question online. Yes. Nidhi, would you tell us a little bit about, we talked specifically for the fashion design postgraduate, we need a portfolio and all that. Can you talk a little bit more in detail about what would be required to apply for the fashion business programs, what it is that we're looking for in those applications?
Okay. The assessment task for the fashion business is divided in 2 parts. So in the first part, you have to make a portfolio, a mood board, like in the fashion design. But in the second part, you have an editorial text that you have to write about a fashion event or a luxury brand. Yes, so that's all. And after that, you have your interview online on Teams, via Teams.
Thank you, Nelly. Perhaps, Jessica, you could maybe tell us a little bit about, just as Elena gave us some tips as to what it is that we're looking for, what would make your application stand out. What is it that the curriculum coordinators, the deans of the fashion business are looking for when they're looking at the fashion business applications?
Okay, so I think again here there is no right or wrong answer. We are not looking for something specifically. We're just looking at getting to know the candidate. So that's why we do this. This is why we do interviews. That's why we require you to do this exercise, namely 3 mood boards, one about your personality, and then another one about fashion, and then a third one about artistic references. What's really important for us is to know that not only you are passionate about fashion in the surface level, let's say, so you're really interested in learning about all the artistic directors, but also about the maybe marketing strategies and campaigns, so the communication strategies of certain brands. You can add that to the mood board and then talk about it. And as for the artistic reference, you can really go from architecture and painting. It's really your universe that we're interested in.
Thanks so much. Thanks, Jessica. We have another question online that is asking, what exactly sets ESMOD apart from other fashion schools, which is a very good question. There are a lot of fashion schools all over the world, of course in New York, of course here in Paris, and of course, again, all over the world. However, what really truly does set ESMOD apart, there are several things. First and foremost, as I mentioned at the very beginning of this digital open campus, ESMOD was established 1841. So we're kind of the OGs. Along with our historical archives, our methods, the inventions of our founder that really make us sort of the cornerstone of technical fashion, of pattern making theory. And now we are also the reference for digital fashion. We were one of the first schools to implement Clo 3D from the first year in fashion design, and our students have the possibility to have a concentration as a digital design specialization. And so our students get to have the best of both worlds. They get to have the heritage as well as the innovation. They get to have the connections to the industry through our incredible alumni network. We have alumni such as founder of Vestiaire Collectif. We have DJ Kayak in Haute Couture. We have alumni that run the gamut, and again, that are international, as ESMOD is an international group of 18 campuses in 12 different countries around the world. And so that network, of course, allows our students to travel, to gain inspiration from other cities, not just from Paris. And then, of course, our implementation in Paris is very important. As our students mentioned, they get to play around with Paris Fashion Week. They get to really use the city as their inspiration, which in a historical building such as this, not everyone can say the same. Yes, and our next question, to continue on that, and I will ask Nelly to chat with me a little bit about any possible exchanges that students can do. So can you tell us a little bit about the study abroad opportunities? I know we can travel within the ESMOD network. Let's talk about that, but then also our Erasmus Plus exchanges.
Okay. So yes, of course, if you want to make an exchange and, for example, do your second year abroad, it's possible because we have a lot of campus all over the world, Dubai, China, Indonesia, etc. So yes, it's possible to make an exchange. And we have also the Erasmus program and also the Tokyo program in the second year. So yeah, it's very possible to do to go abroad if you want to. And during your intensive, during your
Internship.
Internship, yes, you can do your internship abroad as well.
What's really interesting about the ESMOD network, of course, is that you have the possibility to do jumps. So it's a shorter amount of time where you can truly jump into another school, another campus, another culture. And since the ESMOD methods are the same throughout, your curriculum itself will stay the same, but you'll just get to change who's teaching it to you and get a different perspective in terms of professors, which can obviously in Actu be very important. And then also, as I said, draw from the inspiration of the city, from the culture as well. Cross-cultural impacts on design is obviously incredibly important. And so it's a great opportunity to do a smaller study abroad opportunity while you're still designing your collection even, it's possible. And so we have our international department here that can help facilitate the exchanges. And the Erasmus Plus exchanges notably are more so for especially the fashion business opportunities, as our fashion business network is not as large globally as our fashion design network. And the next question will be for Jessica online. Can you tell us if our fashion business bachelor is linked to fashion journalism? And is there a lot of math and analyzing the data involved in this bachelor? Can you tell us, Jessica, about how, is it possible, number one, let's break this question down a bit. First and foremost, would you say that going into fashion journalism, is it possible, perhaps even Valentin could talk on this, but as a potential career path after the fashion business bachelor?
Okay, interesting question. We do have classes on fashion media, as it was stated on the slide. So it ranges from social media, of course, and then, of course, one very important part for us is the press. We do have students who end up working on that. It's not the main focus of the program, but we do have classes that are about that. So, but maybe Annalie can talk a little bit about the that as well, since she is also she also has the overview about the bachelor. What do you think, Annalie? Can you do fashion journalism after doing a bachelor at ESMOD?
So if you talk about editorials, working with the stylists, that's totally an option. That's actually what some of our students do. If you talk more about writing, it's going to be more difficult if it's just literally writing. But again, yes, the editorial part, working with the stylist, yes.
I think Valentin may have some examples also of alumni that have gone on to work in fashion journalism, post-fashion business.
They are. And a lot of them, actually, a lot of our students and alumni have afterwards a career directly in press. We have an alumni actually from the fashion business program, Jeremy, who worked few years at the Figaro in the press section, and which has been an amazing opportunity for him and an amazing development. It is an amazing development for students to work afterwards in the communication industry and to evolve afterwards in this. So it's a very, very important career path, and even more interesting, I think, if you have the possibility to not only do it in France, but do it at an international level to really know more about, cultures and how you communicate. So it's an amazing platform indeed.
Thank you. And then the second part of the question, Jessica, was about the sort of, let's say, quote unquote, less fun part of fashion business, talking about data analysis, law, perhaps. Could you talk about how that fits into the fashion business curriculum, please?
Yes, we do have classes that are less fun. I'm not gonna lie, there's a very important part of the learning process. It's not it's not focused on big data or data analysis, but we do learn, we do teach you how to, the basics of all that in a way. There is a lot of classes that are working skills that we think that are very important for you later on. Of course, we do have to find a very interesting balance between the more creative side of the program and these less fun but very important classes. So it's there precisely because we know that our candidates and our students are very hybrid. They have this very creative side, but they're also very strategic and analytical. So we're trying to fuel that and really make you thrive. So no, math is not required. You don't need to know, algebraic or, any kind of high level math. But there are classes that are going to be a little bit more challenging when it comes to that. But those are important classes.
Thank you so much, Jessica. We're going to go back to our students, and we have a question that I'm going to twist to make it more specific because I have specific examples for each of you. So I know that one of you participated in the Faber-Castell concours, and the other one did the L'Âge de Bronze. So I would love for you guys to just tell a quick anecdote about each of those projects.
Yeah. So ESMOD has this. Oh. Because ESMOD is international and very well known in the world of everything creative, we have relationships with lots of different brands and fashion houses, namely, but we have a relationship with Faber-Castell, and they make art products. So we had a contest back in October where we had to blend one of the projects that we were working on for our stylism class with Faber-Castell products and then turn it into something that was also merged with ideas that we created from Paris Fashion Week. So it was like an explosion on a page. And we were given about 5 hours to be in a studio and sat down with all of the different Faber-Castell products that we had been introduced to the week before. And we created a mood board and we created all of these concepts. And essentially the idea was to use as many Faber-Castell products as you could. And the best project actually won like a multitude of products. And I had someone in my class get second place. Lisa, c'était super. It was very cool. And even though I did not win, it was super fun to participate. And we also had a hat project that we did in November as well. So there's all these fun things that are going on all the time that kind of ignite your creative brain and are not graded, which is always nice.
Yeah, so for me, I mean, I already talked a little bit about it, but it was super interesting because also we had all of these materials given to us to create something, and I learned so many like new techniques. As an example, when you can rehydrate leather and you can like sort of like sculpt all of these forms out of it, which was really, really cool to learn. And then at the end, when we were finished with the products, they were exhibited in the museum. That was also super cool to sort of see your thing in this really official setting. And we also just had a meeting with some students at the Sorbonne, and there was a really nice discussion round. So it was really nice to just get all of this feedback from different sectors and from different people, and to really show your work exhibited in a way that you usually wouldn't really have the connections to.
One last question. So we spoke about a typical day, and now they're wanting to know about the workload. Can you tell us a little bit about the work that you're asked to do both in and sort of out of class? Because I know a lot of the work happens out of class. So let's talk about that.
Fashion is a very passionate job. So I think you do have to bring that passion, you have to bring that motivation to also work outside of class. For me, it is my dream. So the work that I do doesn't necessarily feel like work. It feels more like I'm, doing my hobby all of the time. But it is work. It's sometimes is a lot of work, especially when you have a hand-in or a jury where we present our products. But it's not like you don't have any time to do anything else. I do enjoy going out on the weekends and meeting up with some friends, but do be prepared to do some work at home.
Yes, I echo the same statement. And as someone who also has a relationship with corporate America, you definitely have to prioritize and organize yourself very well. I think I saw someone ask before about having a job outside of school. At least for fashion design, I would say it's very impractical. Your day is very much dedicated to fashion, and that is like, as long as you're, you know, meeting your deadlines and getting all of your work done and like understanding the projects, teachers are very, very nice about like helping you, you know, through hard times and things like that. I would say the first semester for first year is a huge adjustment period for everybody. You know, everybody's coming from all over the world, very different backgrounds, very different education systems, and the workload is very specific to ESMOD. So, you know, there's some growing pains, but I will say coming back from Christmas, everything is a lot more seamless. I definitely know how to prioritize my work. I think, you know, you should be expected that you have your classes during the day, you have breaks to eat lunch, and then when you get home, you'll probably have time to, you know, make dinner and then do some more work and go to bed. So enjoy your weekends. Your weeks are for working.
Tate, we have a question specifically for you. If you already speak French or a little French, do you recommend choosing the program in French or in English?
Ooh,
C'est difficile.
I think because all of the teachers speak French, I do not find it difficult to practice my French. But at the same time, like it depends on what your goals are. Because if you want to live in France and if you want to work in France, it would be helpful to take the French program and get immersed into that universe as quickly as possible. If you are interested in working abroad, or if you have your eyes set on working, you know, somewhere like where everything is dual language, then it could be good to be in both. You definitely will get a lot of practice if you make it that way, but I will say I have to go out of my way to practice my French with people in school because everybody in my class is English or like English speaking. And some of them don't even speak French.
So personally, I've actually done both. So I did my first year in an international class, and then I switched in my second year to a French class. And for me, that was kind of the best way to go about it, because you are arriving in a new country. There's a bunch of new people that you meet, and learning a language on top of that that you don't really know, that can be sort of a little bit overwhelming. And in the third year, you do mostly have to speak French because most of the teachers are French. They have a big savoir-faire, you know, they are from the business, but not all of them are fluent. So it's good to have a good level there. So that's why I took the decision in the second year to switch. And therefore, I kind of made friends from all around the world. I had a little bit of both. So I think that was, yeah, a good choice for me to make.
Thank you so much, both of you. We had a question that was triggered from your answers asking about the workload and homework for fashion business students. So Jessica, could you maybe run us through what the typical day for a fashion business student would be? And is it more project-based? Do they have homework? Can you describe a little bit of the workload that students would have briefly, as we are going to wrap things up very quickly? Thank you.
Yes. Alors, so our classes are very workshop, so they're hands-on. We teach by practicing. So you don't have a lot of homework. Most of the work is done in class. There are classes where where it's required some learning at home, let's say. For example, I think about history and sociology of fashion, because there is a lot of information, so it is required to do some work at home. But most of the workload is done in class.
Thank you so much, Jessica. And once again, thank you everyone that was here this evening that answered your questions and that presented the ESMOD community. We were very proud to do so. So thank you so much to Jessica, to Annalie, our two students, Tate and Maïla, Nelly and Elan Valentin. Thank you so much. For those that were moderating in the chat as well, thank you so much. And to all of you that were here listening, we thank you so much. We know it was a lot of information. Of course, we did not get to all of your questions. If you do have more questions, if you want to get in touch with an ESMOD admissions officer, you can contact us via WhatsApp using this QR code. You can, of course, send us an email at contact@esmod.com. You can give us a call. Our admissions officers are always here to give you tours, to chat with you, to tell you, to help guide you as well in your choice if you're still deciding design and fashion business. That's what they're here for. And of course, please check out ESMOD Paris on Instagram, on TikTok. We're on LinkedIn as well. And you'll find out all of the happenings on our campuses, what's happening with student projects, and our upcoming events, such as fashion shows. So stay tuned and try to keep up with ESMOD. Thanks again so much for everyone for joining us from all over the world. And we wish you all a great evening. Thanks.